The cold grey rain of London blurred the streets outside a small cafe in Shoreditch. Inside, Maya, a 26-year-old graphic designer, felt like she was invisible to the world. She had big dreams of working with global brands, but her reality was a series of low-paying gigs and a mountain of rejection emails. She felt scattered, as if her brain was a radio tuned to 10 different stations at once, all of them playing static. She was talented, but she lacked a target. She was living in a state of constant mental noise. Mental noise, unable to see the opportunities right in front of her, because her mind was cluttered with the debris of daily stress and doubt. Before we see how Maya cleared the fog, I want you to do something powerful. Reach out and grab your mindset journal. This is not just paper and glue. It is a laboratory for your future. If you feel lost today, I want you to write the word activate in the center of a page. Are you ready to turn on the most powerful search engine in the world? Let's begin the journey. One afternoon, Maya met an old friend who seemed to have a magic touch for success. When Maya asked for his secret, he didn't point to a computer, he pointed to a battered leather notebook. He told her about the RAS, or the Reticular Activating System. He explained that our brains process millions of bits of data every second, but the RAS acts as a filter. If you don't tell your RAS what is important, he said, it will only show you what you've always seen, failure and noise. Maya went home and made a vow. Every morning, before touching her phone, she would write 3 specific goals in her journal. She began her journey of the journaling manifest. Journaling manifest. The first week was difficult. She felt silly writing, "I am a world-class designer," while sitting in her tiny apartment. But slowly, the science began to work. Because she was writing her goals, her RAS started to highlight things she usually ignored. She noticed a billboard for a design competition she had walked past 10 times before. She spotted a LinkedIn post from a creative director looking for exactly her style. It wasn't magic, it was biology. By writing in her journal, she was tagging her goals as important data. Her brain stopped seeing the static and started seeing the signals. Maya was no longer a passive observer of her life. She was the programmer of her own reality through the journaling manifest. Journaling manifest. Why does this work for everyone? From a freelancer in London to a student in New York? It is because of neuroencoding. Neuroencoding. The physical act of writing by hand sends a much stronger signal to the brain than typing on a screen. It engages your motor skills and your visual cortex simultaneously. If you are an employee stuck in a 9-to-5 loop, journaling allows you to bypass the autopilot mode of your brain. It forces your prefrontal cortex to focus on your long-term vision rather than your short-term problems. You are literally building new neural pathways. Neural pathways that lead toward your goals every time you pick up your pen. A year later, Maya wasn't just another designer in the London crowd. She had won the competition she spotted and was now lead designer for a sustainable fashion house. When people asked her how she did it, She simply pulled out her mindset journal. She hadn't changed her talent. She had changed her filter. She reached the top of her mountain by realizing that success isn't about working harder in the noise. It's about writing down the truth until your brain has no choice but to find it. She had mastered the art of the biological search engine, turning her scattered thoughts into a laser-focused map. RAS, the Reticular Activating System, a bundle of nerves at our brainstem that filters out unnecessary information. For Maya, this was the filter that finally started showing her the opportunities she needed. Mental noise. Mental noise. The state of having too many thoughts or distractions to focus on a goal. This was the static that kept Maya invisible at the start of her story. Neuroencoding. Neuroencoding. The process of the brain recording information through physical and mental stimulation. This was the secret power of Maya's handwriting that programmed her mind for success. Now open your mindset journal. Mindset journal. I want you to write down one specific goal, just one that you want to achieve in the next 90 days. Write it in the present tense, as if it is already happening. Now, underneath it, write 3 things you will look for tomorrow that move you closer to that goal. It could be a person, a book, or a single email. When you write it down, you are telling your RAS to wake up and start searching. Thank you for spending this time with me and Maya. Your brain is the most powerful tool in the universe, but it needs a script to follow. If you are ready to start writing yours, join our community. We are all programming our futures, one page at a time. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. Stay strong.